This is Namibia. A land we'd been dreaming about long before we ever arrived. We spent over a month exploring this incredible country in our 4x4 Ford Ranger with a rooftop tent, driving thousands of kilometers, chasing sunsets, and falling in love a little more every day. In this video, we're sharing the 10 places that made us fall in love with Namibia. The ones that captured our hearts, fueled our love for adventure, and deserve a spot on your travel list. Some are iconic, some are hidden gems, but all stole our hearts. Let's hit the road together through one of the most breathtaking countries on Earth, Namibia. Tucked away in southern Africa and the wild Atlantic Ocean. And in its capital Windhoek, we picked up our badass 4x4 Ford Ranger and hit the open road. The first place we went to was Swakopmund, a charming coastal town right on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. It's about a 4-hour drive from Windhoek, and the main reason we wanted to come here was to see the desert meet the ocean at Sandwich Harbor. So we drove there, climbed a nearby dune, and from the top, the view of the endless desert stretching into the ocean completely blew us away. If you're traveling on a budget like we were and find the Sandwich Harbor tour a bit too pricey, this is a great alternative. You can still enjoy the spectacular scenery without the extra cost. After we headed to Walvis Bay, just a short drive away from Swakopmund, to check out the vibrant pink lake, a natural salt lagoon that gets its pink color from tiny algae, and made our way to Pelican Point, where flocks of flamingos greeted us along the coast. Now we're heading up the coast to Cape Cross. About a 1.5 hour drive from Swakopmund, it's home to one of the largest seal colonies in the world. And you can definitely smell that as soon as you arrive. The scent is intense, and one you won't forget in a hurry, but after a few minutes you surprisingly start to get used to it. If you walk a little further down onto the beach, you can actually stroll alongside the seals, away from the crowds. Watching them dive into the waves and lift their noses towards the sun is such an entertaining experience. We could have watched them for hours. We continue the journey north, following the coastline towards the legendary Skeleton Coast. A stretch of coastline earned its name from the countless shipwrecks scattered along its shores due to the harsh and unforgiving ocean. We headed through the iconic Skeleton Coast Gateway and followed a sandy track that led us close to the beach. It felt so surreal driving so close to the crashing waves of the Atlantic. However, adventure soon caught up with us. We got stuck. The sand here is incredibly soft and deep, and our tires sank in quickly. So here's a tip: if you're planning to drive on the beach, make sure to deflate your tire pressure to at least 1.6 bar or lower. Trust me, it will save you a lot of digging. Luckily, we managed to get ourselves out and back on the road. Now we're going to turn inland and make our way into Damaraland, a region known for its dramatic landscapes and the Himba communities who still live here today. The reason we came here is to tackle some epic off-road trails while exploring the breathtaking scenery, including Brandberg, Namibia's highest mountain. But one of the absolute unexpected highlights was spotting the desert-adapted elephants, evolved to survive the harsh desert conditions. We're driving further down to visit Spitzkoppe, just a short drive from Brandberg. Spitzkoppe is a massive granite mountain, often called the Matterhorn of Africa. We had the best time climbing over the rocks and hiking to the famous Arch Rock, which offers incredible views over the surrounding mountains. We even spotted a few curious rock dassies along the way and enjoyed a stunning sunset from the rocks. Camping out here is an absolute highlight, because with no light pollution, the night sky was filled with stars, and we could even spot the Milky Way. Now we're heading even further inland to Etosha National Park, about a 4-hour drive from Windhoek. Etosha is the largest national park in Namibia, with a massive salt pan at its heart and an incredible diversity of all wildlife Namibia has to offer. What's great about Etosha is the number of waterholes scattered throughout the park, which attract huge herds of animals, especially during the dry season. One of the best ways to experience it is by staying at one of the campsites inside the park. Many of them have their own waterholes, so you can simply sit back, relax, and watch the wildlife come to you, even at night. From Etosha, we continue our journey up north, driving deep into the remote Kavango region on our way to the Epupa Falls, a spectacular waterfall on the border between Namibia and Angola. The drive takes several hours and feels like an adventure in itself, as the landscapes grow wilder and more dramatic with every kilometer. Kavango is home to the Himba people, and as we enter their territory, we visit the local community to learn more about their traditional way of life. Eventually, we reach the River, where Epupa Falls cascades over a series of rocky ledges surrounded by baobab trees and dramatic cliffs. It's a bit off the beaten path, but absolutely worth the journey. You can camp right on the riverbank, watch crocodiles swim, and fall asleep to the sound of the waterfall. From Epupa, we follow the River eastward, until we reach the Kavango East region, home to the mighty Kavango River itself. Suddenly, the landscape changed completely. We were surrounded by lush greenery and flowing water. We camped right on the riverbank, falling asleep to the sound of hippos grunting nearby. And at our own risk, we even took a quick swim in the river. Thanks to the abundance of water, this region is alive with wildlife, which we explored in the nearby Mahango and Buffalo National Parks. Animals gather along the riverbanks here, and the game drives feel wonderfully wild and untamed. The Kavango eventually flows into the famous Okavango Delta in Botswana. So this is one of the few places where you can experience that unique ecosystem without crossing the border. The roads here are rougher and less maintained, so we ended up with a flat tire. But don't let that scare you. Workshops are easy to find, as it is a common part of traveling this route. And honestly, that's what makes this place so special. And you might just have all that incredible wildlife entirely to yourself. We continue our journey east to the very tip of Namibia, the Zambezi region. Here, the Kavango River winds its way through the landscape and into Mudumo National Park, where we spent a few unforgettable nights camping deep in the wild, falling asleep to the sound of lions roaring in the distance, and waking up to elephants crossing the river at sunrise. And this is exactly why we came here, to experience the magic of the wild and once-in-a-lifetime moments we'll never forget. We truly believe this area is one of Namibia's best-kept secrets. Thanks to the network of rivers flowing through it, the Zambezi region is bursting with wildlife. At times it felt like we had the entire wilderness to ourselves, and that's exactly why we know we'll keep coming back to this region, and you should too. Next, we're heading all the way down to the very south of Namibia, driving around 8 hours from Windhoek to experience the Fish River Canyon. Fish River Canyon is the largest canyon in Africa and the second largest in the world after the Grand Canyon. And once you're standing on the edge, it's hard not to feel small. The scale is absolutely mind-blowing, and landscape carved by water and time over hundreds of millions of years. This is one of those places where you truly hear the silence and feel the power of nature all around you. Just a couple of hours from the canyon lies the Quiver tree forest, home to around 200 uniquely shaped quiver trees scattered across rocky terrain. We stopped here for a walk among these ancient trees before continuing deeper into the desert. For our final destination, we're heading into the Namib Desert, one of the oldest deserts on Earth, shaped by wind and time over millions of years. As we drive across open plains, we see oryx roaming across the landscapes and sand dunes begin to rise around us. We spent our time exploring the Namib Brand area, hiking over the dunes and soaking in the beauty of the desert. And at sunrise, we set off towards Sossusvlei, making our way to its most iconic landmark, Deadvlei. It's about an hour's drive from the Sossusvlei entrance, and the journey itself is breathtaking, with dunes rising on both sides of the road. The road is paved for most of the way, but the final stretch turns into deep sand. Here you can choose to tackle it yourself or hop on a shuttle if you'd rather not risk getting stuck. We started walking towards Deadvlei, but quickly got distracted by the tallest dune in Sossusvlei, Big Daddy Dune, and decided to climb it first, knowing it would reward us with incredible views over Deadvlei. Step by step we followed the ridge all the way to the top, and the view was worth every bit of effort, an endless sea of dunes stretching as far as the eye could see. And after catching our breath, it was time for the fun part, the descent. We ran down the soft sand straight into Deadvlei below, where the landscape shifted from sand into a dry clay pan with dead camel thorn trees. These trees died over 600 years ago, and because of the desert's extreme dryness, they never decomposed. So they remain perfectly preserved, frozen in time. And that's it, our top 10 places that made us fall in love with Namibia. Let us know in the comments which place stole your heart the most. And if you're dreaming of doing this trip yourself, make sure to check out our Ultimate Namibia itinerary, where we dive deeper into the routes, must-see stops and our favorite places to stay. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd be so thrilled if you hit that like and subscribe button. It's Jordi and Amy, and we'll see you on our next journey.